Hi guys, today I'll be taking a look at the Cherry MX Red. Let's get started. The Cherry MX Red was introduced in 2008 as a lighter variant of the Cherry MX Black, making this switch popular with gamers. In fact, plenty of gaming keyboards currently on the market offer this switch as one of their options alongside the MX Brown and the MX Blue. In 2013, Cherry announced the RGB version for this switch, offering support for PCBs with SMD LEDs for more RGB vomit, obviously. Also, according to Cherry's datasheet, there are different styles for this switch, none of which are important to me, but here you are in case you need it. In terms of pricing, these are just over £7 for 10 switches on AliExpress, easily putting it in competition against the Ultimo Skies and TTC Gold V3s. And this is what they look like disassembled. Feel free to pause the video. Now, let's move on to the switch categories. On-center key presses are decently scratchy. Additionally, the switches installed in the R, G and B sockets are the scratchiest on this keyboard. Off-center key presses are even scratchier. In fact, it's very inconsistent with all the switches. Some of them feel just a little bit scratchy and some are extremely scratchy, especially when pressed at the very edge of the keycap. It's not great at all. 4 out of 10. The weighting is light with an actuation force of 49 grams at 2.1mm and a bottom out force of 66 grams at 3.8mm of total travel. So not too different from the specifications, but it's very similar to both the Ultimo and Kailh Red, both of which are clones of the MX Red. Overall, I find this weighting to be too light for my preferences, but this can be a good alternative to those who find MX Blacks to be too heavy. For me, it's far from ideal, especially for typing. 5 out of 10. Sound isn't too bad when typing at speed, but as soon as you slow down, you can hear the scratchiness of each switch as you press on them. It's not a deal breaker by any means, but it is annoying sometimes and I really wish they looped it from factory, so this wouldn't be an issue. 5 out of 10. Now for the typing demo. Enjoy. Now, possibly the weakest chain, typing performance. It really sucked typing on this because the weighting is just far too light. I kept making too many mistakes just by accidental key presses. And to me, that's no good, especially when programming, typing emails and sorting documents. This really wasn't designed for that. 4 out of 10. For gaming, unlike typing, is actually rather decent, and in my opinion, it's why you want to buy the Switch. With that said, this will depend on the type of games you play. I mostly play FPS games and found this Switch to be quite nice as the light weighting made my gaming experience more relaxing, which is a huge plus. Now, on the flip side, if you're playing other types of games, this may or may not give you any lasting advantage, so it's up to you to decide if this is really worth your money. Overall, I think it's a decent Switch for gaming. 6 out of 10. In conclusion, unless you're heavily into FPS gaming, it's not really worth it in my opinion. Plus, red clones from Ultimo, Gateron and Greetech pretty much achieve the same thing as the MX Red for much cheaper, so I don't know why anyone would choose the MX Red to be honest. The final score for this Switch is 24 out of 50 or 48%, below average compared to MX clones, only beating the Kailh Red, which isn't a good Switch to begin with. Anyway, next time I'll be reviewing a light tactile Switch. Until then, take care and goodbye.